Some anime characters really stick with us because of their courage and determination. They're the ones who keep fighting no matter how tough things get, and that's what makes them so memorable. On the surface, they seem almost unstoppable, like they can take on anything that comes their way without breaking a sweat. These characters aren't just strong because they win fights. They're strong because they keep going despite everything they've been through. They face hardships that would make most people give up. Yet they push forward, driven by a mix of determination, duty, and sometimes a sense of purpose that even they don't fully understand. Their journeys are filled with moments of doubt, regret, and loss, but also with flashes of hope and resilience that keep them moving forward. Guts' life is essentially a constant battle. From the moment he was born into a brutal world, marked by violence and betrayal, he's faced relentless challenges. His journey isn't just about fighting physical enemies, it's also about grappling with his own inner demons. Guts' past is filled with trauma, including the horrible events that happened during the eclipse that left him scarred both physically and emotionally. All throughout his life, Guts has been on a quest for revenge and redemption. He's driven by a deep need to avenge the wrongs done to him and to find some sort of peace or purpose in a world that seems relentlessly harsh. This quest for vengeance has led him down a lonely path. He's often isolated from others, either because of his own choices or because the world around him has made it difficult for him to connect with other people. His journey is marked by a series of painful sacrifices, losing friends, facing betrayal, and enduring endless battles. Guts' path to redemption is not just about seeking revenge, it's also about coming to terms with his own suffering and finding a way to move forward. Despite his formidable strength and combat skills, he's constantly wrestling with feelings of anger, sadness, and loneliness. His struggle is as much about surviving his inner turmoil as it is about fighting external enemies. The weight of his past and the challenges he faces makes his journey a deeply solitary and painful one, reflecting the high personal cost of his quest for vengeance and redemption. In essence, Guts' story is a powerful testament to enduring through extreme hardship and the personal sacrifices that come with seeking justice and finding one's own path in a harsh world. His strength is defined not by his ability to fight, but by his resilience in the face of ongoing suffering and his relentless drive to overcome his own darkness. Take the moment when Guts decided to leave the Band of the Hawk. He's walking away from the only friends he's ever had, and you can tell that it's tearing him up inside. But he's made up his mind, even if it means going it alone. And then there's the eclipse, one of the most messed up things Guts ever goes through. He loses almost everyone he cares about, and the trauma from that event haunts him for a long time. But even after all that, he keeps pushing forward, refusing to let the darkness win. Itachi might come off as a calm and detached ninja, but there's so much more to his story than meets the eye. On the surface, he appears cold and indifferent, almost like a villain, but if you dig deeper, you find that he's actually carrying an immense emotional and moral burden. Everything he does, every choices he makes, is driven by a deep sense of duty and a profound love for his younger brother Sasuke. Itachi's story is a tragic one, marked by unimaginable sacrifice. At a young age, he was forced to make a heart-wrenching decision to protect his village. He carried out the massacre of his own clan, the Uchiha, in order to prevent a civil war that would have devastated his people. This act, though brutal and unforgivable in the eyes of many, was done with the intention of preserving peace. Itachi chose to take on the role of the villain, becoming a scapegoat to protect his brother and his village from chaos. His actions are steeped in layers of complexity. Itachi knew that by wiping out his clan, he would become a hated figure in the eyes of his younger brother Sasuke, who would grow up with a burning desire for revenge. This was a heavy price to pay, but Itachi believed that it was necessary to keep Sasuke alive and to safeguard the future of their village. His love for Sasuke was so profound that he was willing to bear the burden of being seen as a monster in order to ensure his brother's survival and eventual strength. Even as he lived out his days as an enemy, he never stopped caring for Sasuke. His actions were often misunderstood and his true intentions were obscured. Itachi's final confrontation with Sasuke was both a test and a form of cruel love. He fought his brother to help him grow stronger, knowing that Sasuke needed to confront him to truly come into his own. The ultimate sacrifice is a testament to Itachi's unwavering commitment to his brother and to his village, even if it meant living a life filled with guilt and loneliness. Ultimately, Itachi's story is an example of the burden that comes with making impossible choices. His calm exterior belies the emotional turmoil and sacrifice that define his character. Through his actions, Itachi teaches us about the depth of love and the pain of sacrifice, showing that sometimes the greatest acts of heroism come from enduring personal suffering for the sake of others. Eren Yeager starts off as a bright-eyed kid with a simple dream: to break free from the walls that confine him and see the world beyond. His initial motivation is straightforward. He wants to avenge his mother's death and live a life of freedom. But as the series progresses, Eren's journey becomes a complex and harrowing struggle that tests his resolve in ways he could never have imagined. As Eren grows up, he learns that the world outside the walls is far more complicated and dangerous than he ever thought. The Titans are just the beginning of the threats he faces. His understanding of freedom evolves as he uncovers the dark secrets of his own world. Secrets about the Titans, the government, and even the true nature of his own powers. Eren's quest for freedom quickly becomes entangled with a brutal reality. He faces harsh choices that put him against both his enemies and his former allies. As he learns more about the world's true nature, he must confront difficult decisions that lead to devastating consequences. His actions, driven by a mix of idealism and anger, affect not only his own life, but the lives of countless others. One of the most defining moments in Eren's story is his shift from seeking freedom to becoming a figure who wields immense power, but at great personal and moral cost. His transformation into a leader of the Jaegerists, a faction dedicated to radical change, showcases his willingness to embrace extreme measures to achieve his vision of freedom. Eren becomes increasingly isolated, both emotionally and physically, as he pursues his goals. Ultimately, Eren's journey is a stark exploration of the cost of his ambitions. He is willing to sacrifice everything, including his humanity and his relationships, to achieve what he believes is freedom. His story is a powerful example of how the pursuit of a dream can lead to profound personal and societal consequences. Guts, Itachi, and Eren, each of them embodies a different kind of strength. Guts teaches us about the power of perseverance in the face of overwhelming odds. His life is a testament to the idea that no matter how dark the world becomes, we must continue to fight, not just against our own enemies, but against our inner demons. Itachi reminds us of the sacrifices that come with true love and loyalty. His choices, though painful, were made out of a deep sense of duty and care for his brother and his people. Itachi's life is a powerful example of the burdens that true protectors must bear, often in silence and without recognition. Eren's story is a reminder of the complexity of freedom and the lengths one might go to achieve it. His transformation from an idealistic child to a determined fighter shows us that the pursuit of a better world often demands difficult decisions and personal sacrifice. These characters, through their trials and tribulations, show us that the path of the hero is never easy. It's filled with pain, loneliness, and sacrifice, but also with moments of profound realization and growth. They remind us that even in our darkest moments, when the world seems to be against us, we can find within ourselves the strength to continue. Their stories encourage us to look within and ask ourselves, what am I willing to fight for? What sacrifices am I ready to make? And in the end, how will I find the strength to keep moving forward, no matter the cost?